Hi everybody, Janae here. So welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you are new. As you can tell from the title, I'm going to do kind of like a reader ramble, my bookish life type of video, where I'm going to do a mini haul because I only bought 3 books in March, which is really good for me. And I have some things I want to share with you all just about what I'm reading, some decisions I've made about reading, all that good stuff. So I'm going to jump in. I'm also going to apologize for not being as active on this channel as I should have been lately, especially since I had so much planned from the release of my blog and everything like that. But really what happened is that life got in the way, and I'm a little bit vain. I will say I had a cold sore and it took like 2 weeks to go away, 2.5 weeks to go away completely, and I just didn't want to film with it. So that's part of what happened in March. So I'm just going to pick up where I left off, get some things out to you, and we will go from there. I'm really excited to be back though, y'all. So the first thing I want to do in this video is a mini haul. Like I said, I only bought 3 books in March, and so I'm going to share those with you really quickly, and then I'll move on to the rest of the video. So the first book that I bought this March, actually you saw in the haul that I think I just posted, I bought the books, sorry, I'm looking at my bookshelf, Etiquette and Espionage and Curtsies and Conspiracy by Gail Carriger, and I said that they were going to be a quartet. The 3rd book is out, the 4th isn't, so I went ahead and picked up the 3rd book, Waistcoats and Weaponry, because I already have the first 2. I'm probably going to enjoy the series, and so I just wanted to go ahead and have this on hand. I hope to read through these before the last book comes out, but we'll see. I have a lot of reading to do this year, and I'll get to that a little bit later, but hopefully I'll get to these, hopefully I'll get to these 3 before that last book comes out. So, yep, Waistcoats and Weaponry by Gail Carriger. The next book that I got is it's called Things No One Will Tell Fat Girls, and it's by Jess Baker. She is a blogger, actually also known as the Militant Baker, and this book is just about body image, body positivity, and things like that. It's not about accepting like being unhealthy, but it's about accepting who you are, even if you want to, you know, become a better or different version of yourself in the future, but still loving who you are at the moment. I think this book is for anybody. It's not just for fat girls, and I've really enjoyed it so far. I'm like not that far through it, but I've made so many notes. This book is basically like a diary for me. I've been like writing in the margins and just putting my own thoughts there. So I really am enjoying it so far, and it's one of the books I got in March, so I wanted to show it to you all. So there's that one. If you're looking for something just about body positivity or accepting yourself the way you are, I think this is it's a great read. And the last book that I got in March, I'm so excited to show it to you all and to read it. It's a huge book, but I'm just going to go ahead and show it to you. It is Lady of Midnight by Cassandra Clare. I did not realize how big this book was until I got it in the mail, and it didn't even fit in like my apartment's mail slot thing. It had to go to the package center. So if you don't know what this is Cassandra Clare's, the beginning of her 3rd series, set in the Shadowhunter world. It is a sequel to the Mortal Instruments series, which I've read. I've also read The Infernal Devices. I read those actually right before I started my booktube channel. So there are going to be 5 series in the Shadowhunter Chronicles in the world, and I'm really excited for it. I know a lot of people are upset because you know, she's writing so many books in one world, blah blah blah, but I think until they're not good anymore, that's fine, and to each his own. I love this series. I will say I have all the rest of the Shadowhunter books on my Kindle, and so I should have gone ahead and bought this book on my Kindle, and I really don't know what I was thinking, but we'll see what I do about that. I might collect this series in print copy and then go back to Kindle, who knows. But those are the books that I got in March, and so I'm really excited to delve into them. One of them I've already delved into, and so I'm just this is going to be a good reading year. I already feel it for me, and so I'm excited. So the next thing that I want to talk to you all about are some of the challenges that I have kind of joined, I guess you could say, for this year. I know most people put these videos up in January or even at the end of December, what challenges they're going to do, etc. I hadn't really made up my mind at that point to do any challenges besides the Goodreads challenge, just how many books do you want to read this year. And by the way, that number that I set for myself is 75. I have never done a full year in a Goodreads challenge. Last year was the first year I did it, and I didn't even set a goal until October. I set a goal of 6 for the rest of the year, and I ended up reading 38 books the rest of that year. So we'll see. Hopefully I get to 75. So that's the Goodreads challenge. I also joined the Mount TBR challenge. I'm going to link all of this below. I will link my like blog entries into these challenges, but also where they originated. I'll link those as well. But yes, the Mount TBR challenge is really also very loose. It's just reading books that you already own. So all the books that count are ones that you've owned before January 1st, 2016, and there are different levels. So there's like a Mount Ararat and a Mount Vancouver and a Mount Kilimanjaro, I think. I am on the Mount Vancouver level, if I'm not mistaken. I think I'm doing Mount Vancouver. If not, I'll like correct myself here. But that means I'm trying to read 36 of my TBR books, the books that I've owned before January 1st, 2016. I want to decrease my TBR pile. Basically, that's what the challenge is for. And so I committed to that. What I will talk about in a minute is that I'm also unhauling a lot of books. I've been buying a lot of books. I've had a lot of books for years that I haven't read. Some of them I'm keeping, but I'm giving a lot away. I'm donating a lot of books. And so I went through and like cleared out my shelves. And I'm going to be posting those unhaul videos as well, but I decided on 36 before I decided which books to get rid of. And so I think I was already going to do this, but I'm going to have to rely heavily on my Kindle because I'm giving away a lot of the print books that I own that I'm either not going to read anymore, like I enjoy them, but I'm not going to read them anymore, or that I'm just not going to read, period. And so we will see how that goes, but I have several books. I have like 80 books, counting print and Kindle books, that I haven't read, and then something like 45 nonfiction books, print and Kindle, together. So I have plenty of books to read. And so that is the Mount TBR challenge. Next, and the last challenge I think I'm doing this year, I'm not entering anymore, I don't think, will be the PopSugar challenge. So I had never heard of PopSugar. I had never been to the website before, but I've seen a lot of people talking about the reading challenge, and I decided that basically I wanted to enter a challenge to help me shape my Mount TBR challenge, if that makes sense. So it's fine to say I'm going to read 36 of my, TBR pile books, but the whole reason that I don't read my TBR books is mainly because I can't decide which ones to read. So I decided to join the PopSugar challenge to kind of put some structure to it. Now, if you know me, I don't really like TBRs. I don't like feeling like bogged down to just read, or not bogged down, but like limited to reading just one book. But I still needed some structure. So I decided to do the PopSugar reading challenge, and to try and fit as many of my TBR books into that challenge as possible. I'm going to talk about my reading challenges in another video as well, because I'm going to do a wrap up. So I'll give you more details about what that all looks like. But suffice to say, I'm going to knock out at least 16 of my TBR books with the PopSugar challenge, and the rest of the books for PopSugar are going to be books that I might own but I got since January, or there are a few books that I have to buy. But I'm just excited. I'm super excited about the challenges. I've never done reading challenges before. I'm just kind of been a reader, but joining BookTube has introduced me to so many new things. I'm just really excited to kind of jump in. I know what the rest of my year basically is looking like, and so it's nice to have some structure to things. Speaking of my unhaul, one thing that I also want to, it's not necessarily a resolution, but something I want to think more critically about is visiting my library more often. So a lot of the books I'm unhauling, I got from Book Outlet in the past 3, 4, 5 months, and I've read them. They were good, enjoyable books, but not something I really feel like I'm going to pick up again, not something I necessarily need on my shelves. And I mean, a lot of them aren't, but a lot of them are. And I feel like I could have gotten a lot of these books from my library, not paid for them, and not had to unhaul them. And so I really need to reconsider. I haven't frequented a library in years, and so I really need to think about that, especially if I'm going to be doing booktube. There's no point in buying books just to unhaul them 3 months later. You know what I mean? If there were things I knew I were going to keep on my shelves, fine, but you know, Book Outlet has these outrageous sales and you go stock up on books, and like I said, even if I like them, I might not want to keep them, and so it just makes a little bit more sense to me to go ahead and use my library. The last thing I want to talk about in this Reader Rambles My Bookish Life, when you see the video title, you'll know what title I went with. There's going to be one of those. The last thing I want to talk about, though, is series. So I love reading series. It's, you know, and you can't avoid it at this point. I mean, you can, but there are just so many good ones out there. But it's so time consuming, and the worlds, you stay in them forever. And I like that in some ways, and in other ways, it's hard, especially because I tend to say, let me buy the first book in a series, see if I like it, and then, you know, I'll finish the rest. But I realize, I'm looking at my bookshelf again, that I have so many first books in a series, and if I enjoy them all, that's so many more books that I just feel obligated to buy. And so I want to chill out, not necessarily on reading series, but on starting any more new ones until I've kind of completed some of the ones that I have. I might do a separate video on just what series I have to finish. They're not a whole lot, but it's enough to where I'm like, maybe I should chill out. And definitely want to institute kind of like a read 5 before buying one. I've been toying around with that. I have very little willpower, but we'll see how it goes. Again, I only bought 3 books in March, and that's doing really well for me. So that is it. Thank you for coming back if you are returning. Thank you for being here if you're new. I really appreciate you. You don't have to be here. You could be anywhere watching any video, and you're here with me. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. I am going to go, just so y'all know, I'm filming like 5 videos today because the next week and a half at work is going to be insane. And I don't want to leave a lag like I have for the past 2.5 weeks. So you're going to see all of this. I'm not changing anything. It's going to be fine. Face, makeup, shirt, everything. It's going to be the same, and it's going to be awesome. So I'm going to see you all in the next video. Have a great day, night, whatever. And yeah, catch you in the next one. Bye.